This is the 757 House Whisperers Show coming to you live from Dominion Tower in downtown Norfolk. We're up here on, what floor are we on? We're up here about halfway.
It's a pretty tall building.
It is a tall building.
Don't
it is
look
a
down.
tall building. Don't jump. Don't jump. So this is Chuck Worley. We're with the 757 House Whisperer Show. We got our guests on tonight, co-hosts on tonight. We got some trivia. We are going to answer a bunch of questions that y'all are going to call in and ask questions about your house. We have created this show to answer questions about the 757 houses. Most people, up north, if someone was calling in, they don't know what the word humidity means. This week, we remember what humidity is because, a year ago was a year ago, right? So now all of a sudden we're like, oh, man, it's been cold. It's been the 80s. It's been okay. Now it's going to be, 95 on Saturday, 93?
I usually gain about 5 pounds before I get home at the end of the day, and it's all that humidity on you, It's like, it just sticks to you.
Yeah,
you get home, you want to take all that stuff off. It's just nasty.
I had a guy that worked for me. He used to carry 10 shirts.
Yeah.
In his truck. Now he's a big boy.
Going through them, though.
You're going through attics.
Yeah.
And, he comes in, he goes, man, I felt like the next house I go to, I look like this big sweat ball jumping out of 150, 200-degree attics. And he was a big boy, and that was before the wicking shirts.
Right.
Nowadays the guys.
Wonderful.
Yeah, now we got uniforms now. They all wick. They're all the nice.
They dry in 10 minutes.
Yeah, so they're pretty nice. But anyway, just to introduce the co-host, of course, I am Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services, the host of the 757 House Whisper. I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves, but I will. The people that are not here tonight are going to be Tommy Hines, the Perfect Home Remedy guy. He's our money guy. And Jack with Legacy Painting. So still, if you got calls, you got questions about painting, you still call in this week. But I'm going to let Sindi go ahead and introduce herself.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Sindi Rowell with Alpha Pest Solutions, owner-operator. We are a full-service termite, moisture, and pest control company. We do service the 757 area and areas beyond that as well. We also do real estate inspections when you're buying and selling your home. And all my inspections are free. So if you're looking for one, let us know.
So make sure you're ready to call in at 627-7979. That number again is 627-7979. We're gonna I'm gonna pop some trivia while we're introducing each other. I'm gonna give you the trivia questions. Then when the guys are doing the announcing their names and all that stuff, you guys can be calling in so we can go right into phone calls this week. So first trivia question is Muhammad Ali, the year he retired, which seems like it's so long ago, but it's not long ago, right? Muhammad Ali, the year he retired. And one that Julie, my fiance, helped me find was the most famous poster ever sold to date. The most famous poster ever sold to date.
I know what that is.
And it's not new.
I know what it is.
The most famous poster. No, don't say it. They'll hear you.
No.
They'll hear you. No, how did they can hear you? Go. No secrets. No, we're not telling. We're not telling. Go ahead.
Sindi, if you answer the question, you do not get the free coffee.
I know you can't get the free coffee. You're trying to get the free coffee.
No.
So 627-7979.
But we're going to find out. Write it down, Sindi.
Yeah,
that
write
way
it down.
we'll
There
know
you
whether
go.
you're right.
Well, hold on. If she writes it down, I can't read.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do here? Come on.
You're in trouble.
Justin, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Justin Murphy with Pyramid Roofing, Gutters, and Solar. We're here to just give you honest and open transparency. Just be honest with folks. There are a lot of, I'm not going to name names, but there's.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah?
They're just having a conversation to themselves.
I'm over here.
Cannot talk.
I just told you I'm not the brightest crayon.
Me and Sindi cannot. We're like that people in class.
No
that
talking
cannot,
in class.
Cannot sit
Doesn't
together.
apply to us.
She's like whispering in my ear. I'm
Go
trying to
stand
talk
in the
back.
corner.
No, go stand. Yes, where's the dunce cap I always wore?
Oh, man. Well, again, I'm Justin Murphy with Pyramid Roofing, Gutters, and Solar. And, Chuck, now I got to give you a hard time. You left Michael out. on your introduction. I was just about to say
That's why you said
That's
that.
what I was telling you.
What happened to Michael Davenport over CVP?
Introduce
on
Michael
now.
Davenport for me.
That's exactly what I was telling him.
Yeah, that's right.
No, that Michael Davenport over at CVP Windows. I mean, he's another one of those contractors that if you want honest opinions, give him a holler. He's going to be straight and just shoot you right to the point.
Yeah, he's going to take care of your doors.
Yeah.
Your exterior doors, sliding doors, your windows.
See that? I let you all do that so you could give him a great commercial.
There you go. I was trying to plug him in too, but
Fantastic guy with a lot of experience.
Yeah, Mike, he's the one I always joke about being long in the tooth.
He's good, folks.
He's and he called out. I thought you were asking why was he not here tonight. He got called out on an important thing. One of his customers needed something, and he's like, "Man, I'll see you next week." So that's what you were saying to me. So yeah, so Mike Davenport was going to be here tonight, but instead you got our pretty faces instead of his. So.
And I'm Albin with Albinco. We do your remodels, whether it be kitchen, bath, if you need an addition on your house. Maybe you need a new construction home. Maybe you want to bulldoze the house you got and you want to come out of the ground with a new one. We'll take care of you. So, so anything that has to do with home remodels, whole house remodels, anything like that, we'll take care of you.
All right, that sounds good. Remember, call in 627-7979, the most famous poster ever made, and the year that Muhammad Ali retired. So those are our trivia questions
like we got
tonight.
Somebody right now that has an answer to your question. So let's see what happens.
Let's see how
Brian in Norfolk.
Brian is. Yes, sir, Mr.
Hello.
Brian. So you got the most famous poster of all time.
I think it's the one of Johnny Cash shooting a bird.
You know what? That is a great answer. It is not correct, but it is But I know the one you're talking about.
Yep.
I know the one you're talking about, and I wasn't a big Johnny Cash when I was younger. I definitely am now. Yeah. But yes, that is a great poster, and I'm telling you, that is a great answer.
Hey, we got a question for you, Brian. Where are you calling from? Are you calling from your car or house?
I'm calling from my house. I don't get a second shot at that, do I?
No, you can't. We got other people calling in. We've already got 2 phone lines lit up. So, but please,
you get a gift card anyways.
Yeah, you still get a gift card from us. We're still going to send you a probably Starbucks gift card. But so you're calling from Norfolk. You got any issues with your house, or how long you been in the house?
Oh, but 5-6 years, I guess.
Okay.
I'm doing okay.
Okay.
I don't really have right now.
All right. Well, that sounds good. All right, let's go to Leo. Mr. Leo in Hampton, the most famous poster ever.
Elvis Presley, the king.
Man, these are great answers, but not accurate.
Chuck,
so
I was going to say, now, Chuck, this poster you're talking about, this didn't come in a magazine fold-out.
No.
I mean, where are we going here,
No. Johnny Cash and Elvis are both. I actually know the posters that you guys are talking about. I can see
which one?
The Johnny Cash.
The
Johnny Cat. Stop it! I could never open those pages. So no, that's okay. So so great question. I mean, great answer, but that is not the one we were looking for.
It's not a poster.
It's a poster.
It's not a poster of Worley Home Services.
It is not. No, that is the third best answer I've heard tonight. That is the third best. Anything with my face on it, right? No, I'm just kidding. No, that's what was your answer? No, I can't. No. Well, that is a good one too, but. Yeah, that's not the right one. That is not the right one. So she said Marilyn Monroe, which there is a good one. But so 627-7979. That is 627-7979. We want you guys calling in, asking questions about your house, problems with your house from the roof to the crawl space. We've had a couple of questions texted in to us. So I definitely want to go to those, but I wanted to see if anybody wanted to call in live at 627-7979. So I think you had. Go ahead.
So
go ahead.
one of the questions that kind of comes up periodically, some people want to do a remodel and they just want to rip out their ceiling, just have a vaulted ceiling. And they were like, well, can I just remove my ceiling? So great question. But it leads into a lot of different things. Some of the things that you're going to have.
How was the house built? Is it stick frame,
so,
trusses?
Most of the time when people are asking this, obviously the answer is going to be no if it's trusses. I mean, you just can't do it. It would there'd be a tremendous undertaking for that. But let's say it was rafters. And
now, trusses, to explain to people that don't know what that is an engineered, like factory built engineered truss.
Correct. Correct.
So you'll see, like, if you're driving past a new construction development, you'll see this crane lifting these triangles that land on top,
Lincoln
and the
logs.
roof and then the roofs go on top of that, right?
Yeah.
So it's called an engineered truss.
Yeah, so
right?
what they do, it's engineered truss, and it's designed with all the wind loads, snow loads, everything they want, and they squeeze every bit of wood out of that. There's no room for removing any of the components of it. If you remove one, you most likely are looking at a failure. So you just don't want to go in, and you probably dealt with this. You see HVAC guys, maybe, different crews are coming in there, maybe plumbers. They come in there and think they could just cut into one of the trusses, remove something to get some ductwork in there. The next thing you know, inspector saying, "Why did you do that? Why did you cut that truss?" You cannot cut those members out of there because you're going to have a failure. So then you've got engineers coming in there trying to figure, okay, well, now we've got it cut. How do we fix that? And there are fixes to that. So anybody that's running up against that, they're like, hey, I had a contractor come in. They tore out a bunch of stuff. We could probably get you back up and running, fix what they tore out. But I just don't recommend modifying the trusses that are in place.
So trusses, kind of telling people that don't necessarily work with trusses every day, versus trusses versus
stick frame. So it's going to be, you're going to have what we call a rafter that forms your roof, and then we have a ceiling joist, which forms your ceiling. So
that's like I'm walking across the attic. I'm stepping on joists.
Hopefully,
I know this. I'm just kind of talking out loud for people that don't go in their attic.
And so
right?
for those that are going to walk in their attic now, be careful because you want to step on the joists and not between the joists, which a lot of people will do. And I'm sure Chuck's probably had several experiences of that where you kind of have the newbie that steps into the attic and they just think they can walk anywhere.
So not to tell him my nephew, but he came to work for me after, but he's standing on the sheetrock.
Nice.
Next to my main guy, right? Like the guy's been with me for 20 years. So he looks over at him and he goes, "What are you doing? Don't move. Don't breathe." He goes, "What?" He goes, "See the wood? Step on the wood slowly." And I have no idea how he did not. I'm pretty sure it was plaster, not drywall. Because if it was drywall, it was probably chicken wire, right? So he would have went through and just racked himself.
Well, there might have been a wall below too, so
that's true. But like, what are you doing? But yeah, that was my godson.
We've all heard those stories where somebody falls through, and
it's dangerous.
Or like you said, I've had guys also on my crew that are freshies, and you look over and you're like, oh my gosh, can you please step on the wood? And you catch them just before they fall through. And it's just, these things that we take for granted when we're actually maybe veterans in our field. And we're like, we just never really think about training that into the newbie. So,
you don't think about it 'cause you're
you just don't.
day.
So that's why I say for those of you that are going to climb in your attic right now, be sure you step on the wood, not on the ceiling.
You don't want any Christmas vacation.
Yeah, Christmas vacation. That's
so, and you don't want to be that guy that everybody talks about, like Chuck just did with his nephew. So, but anyway, so back to the question. So if you remove the ceiling, a lot of people don't realize this, but the ceiling joist is tied to the rafters at the very end. So every time you have a rafter, which is usually 16 inches apart, sometimes 24, you will have a ceiling member that actually gets nailed to the rafters. You cut that ceiling out, and what happens is your rafters will then slip out and push your walls out away from your basically your walls will start to lean out. So the actual ceiling joist is also considered a ceiling tie or a rafter tie. And when you remove that item, you have issues.
So basically the weight of the front and back. So the weight of the roof is sitting on the front wall and the back wall of your house.
The way you can look at it,
when you cut that rafter, those walls just kind of pop out.
So the way you can look at it is if you lean a ladder against a wall, at some point in time when you pull the bottom of the ladder out, the more you pull it out, the more chance of it actually slipping. And so there's this nice little...
It's the same principle.
Same principle. Okay. So you just maybe a better visual for those that are listening is... there's a proper way to lean a ladder against the wall. And if you're not careful, if you have that bottom of the ladder out too far, and somebody might have experienced this, you walk up the ladder and the ladder just wants to fall flat. It's the same principle. So you want to avoid that. And there's ways around that. So seems like we have a caller.
We
can continue this conversation.
So let's go to some callers. Jim, you got a question on the famous poster.
Jim, do us a favor. Listen through your phone and not through the radio. And for everybody else, you can feel free to get more information at 757housewhisperer.com. 757housewhisperer.com. Welcome back, Jim. You talking to us through the phone? I appreciate that, Jim. You there?
I'm trying, yes.
All right, cool.
Yes.
Oh, what's on your mind?
What's your
Farrah Fawcett.
Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding, ding. You are the winner. So where are you at? Out of Toano?
Yes.
You're out of Toano. So yes, that was the specific picture. What is she wearing? And I'm not talking about the fold out that she was painted and had no clothes on.
I think it was an orange or red bathing suit.
Yeah, it is. It is not orange, and I love orange. So how long you been living in your house up there in Toano?
Since 2019.
2019. Oh, man. That is great. Have you had any questions about anything happening on your house?
I do have one. It's on my back deck. The wood on the supports are starting to can't think of the word. They're starting to rot a little bit. They are 2x4s pressure treated. The back deck is covered by a roof. Will that have footings underneath the deck supports because there's a roof over that part of the house?
I mean, that depends on who built it.
That's what I was going to say. Are we up to code, or what are we doing?
Yeah, if you pulled a permit, yes, that is yes.
Was it a new construction house? Did you move in after it was just built?
The deck was built when the house was built.
And how old is the house?
2007.
Yeah, most likely, I would say if I was going to take a gamble, I would say 90% chance you got a foundation underneath there.
Footers or something in there.
Footers. So you're saying that the uprights, the 4x4s that go all the way up to the roof are rotting?
Oh, we lost him. We don't have Jim anymore. We lost him. Must have went through a tunnel.
Yeah. Jim, thank you for
that's Toano.
That's a good question.
So
we
got cell service up there.
If you're getting rot, we keep going back to this. We sometimes feel like a broken record on this, but you most likely have too much moisture around your house. You need to figure out how to get that water away from your house. It's your enemy. You should always be battling water, trying to figure out how to slope that away, whether your gutters have got junk in them and stuff is dumping out there, or whether your gutters are just dumping right on the ground, right at the corners. A lot of people don't realize just because you have gutters doesn't mean you're safe.
No, they got to be functioning.
Yeah, got to be functioning, and you want to get that water away. So thanks again for your call.
Yeah, that was a good question. So you want to go? I guess we got to go to break. Come in. Make sure you call us 627-7979. We are looking for Muhammad Ali's year he retired is our second question. We really did have some good answers on that first one, but anyway, make sure you're calling in with questions about your house so we can answer them. And we will be right back. The 757 House Whisperers Show. I do want to ask you guys to call in about any questions about your house. 627-7979. This is heating and air, electrical, plumbing, roofing. We got our bug control. Sindi, who, for all you brave men scared to go under houses, she will jump under a house and tell you what's going on under there. And then we got Albin live here tonight. I do want to do a shout out to a couple people on Facebook. Cheryl, 1981 was a year Muhammad Ali retired. That is not what I have. So maybe it's the first time he retired. I think he did. So let me confirm the first time that he retired. So that is one answer. And then Sharon Holt about the poster. Yes, the red bathing suit was definitely, I think you were actually the first one to answer correctly. We had about 5 people in a row calling in about, I think everybody figured it out when it wasn't Elvis and it wasn't Johnny Cash and it wasn't Marilyn Monroe.
How was it not an Uncle Sam poster? I mean, that's got to be the most expensive one at an auction or something. But that's just another day for another dollar.
That was a good one too, because you know which one he's talking about.
Yeah.
So how you know it's the right answer is because as soon as they say Johnny Cash, I knew the poster that he was talking about.
If I said Pink Floyd by the pool, you'd know.
Yeah.
But you know. Everybody's got their own, it's all your world.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves, but I'm Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services. We do heating and air conditioning, electrical, plumbing, crawl space, encapsulations, spray foam insulation, and then we have Miss Sindi.
Yeah, Sindi Rowell with Alpha Pest Solutions. Anything crawl space as far as critters are concerned, termites, fungus, powder post beetles, anything that needs to be fixed under there, we can do it. We do inspections for real estate closings and that sort of thing. If you're getting ready to put your house on the market, it's a good idea to have it looked at before you put it on the market and see what's going on and give you the opportunity to find somebody who can take care of what's going on in your crawl space at a reasonable amount of money rather than waiting till that closing time and then you got to go with whoever they say and you're paying big bucks. Yeah.
So go ahead, Albin.
We got Tommy Hines with the Perfect Home Remedies. He'll take care of any of your finance needs. Maybe you're doing a small renovation, large renovation. It's a great thing with the way the economy is that he's helping out so many people when it's so hard to get even maybe an air conditioning unit or
it really does. I sent him a customer last week that the guy used to be in refis, right? So he used to do finance, and now he's in credit cards or something. He's in something different now. But when I sent Tommy over to him, he was like, "Man, that guy knows his stuff."
He does.
So he was like, he actually brought up a couple things that I had not thought of, and I'm embarrassed because that's kind of my business. Like I know money, and he had said, "Well, if you do this and you borrow against this, and you do," Anyway, there's a couple of cool things that got him thinking. He's like, man, he definitely made me think outside the box. So that is definitely somebody, if you need money, trying to do, these renovations or any fixing to your house, he can definitely help you with that.
And then we got Michael Davenport with CVB custom vinyl windows and doors. So he'll take care of any of your your windows, your exterior doors. He does supply and install. And for those contractors out there looking for a good supplier,
he manufactures in Newport News.
He manufactures in Newport News. I've been using him since right around 1999, 2000 is when I connected with him, and he's really taken his company to some great levels. So really a great guy, great product.
Knowledgeable, really knowledgeable.
Yeah, very knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm Albin with Albinco. We do anything remodeling. So we'll give you, if you need a addition, you need a renovation, you need a remodel, a kitchen remodel, bath remodel. We will sit down with you. We'll draft up in a 3D environment, basically be able to look at your house in a 3D environment virtually, and walk you through that, what it's going to look like, tweak it to what your needs are, what you want, so that when we start building, there's no guesswork in what that's going to look like. What you see in the virtual environment is going to be the end product. And we can make those tweaks even through the actual construction phase, door swings and adjustments and all that stuff as we try to feel out your house. So, Justin?
Yeah, I'm Justin Murphy with Pyramid Roofing, Gutters, and Solar. Just here to just be honest with folks. Chuck, what do you think about just coming up with another trivia question real quick?
Okay.
I mean, what's the worst can happen, right?
Yeah.
So let's see what kind of great answers we can get. What are the most leak-prone areas of roofing?
I think that's a great question. I heard it was
the
hole.
That's normally where the water comes in for sure.
Some of them can be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Well, look at that stick coming out my roof. That used to be on the tree.
Yeah, you're also not supposed to see like the sun looking through your living room unless you have a skylight. But hey. Yeah, definitely. Let's see what kind of great answers we get off of that one. There should be some good stuff out there.
That's a good question. So,
I think we forgot somebody.
We did. I was going to let you.
Legacy painting.
I was going to let you enter. I wasn't
the new
done.
guy.
I wasn't done. I was not done. I was letting everybody introduce themselves, and then I had already circled names to go back and remember I said everybody.
Them this time.
So introduce yourself. You introduced everybody else.
I did.
Albin
Co.
I'm Justin.
Albin with Albin.
What's your name? Justin.
I'm Justin with Pyramid Roofing, Gutters, and Solar. And let's
you said that too.
I was just testing you because last week you stumbled.
Oh, real bad too.
Yeah,
real bad.
So he was warning Jack. He said, "Man, you get nervous in here. It gets hot in this room, and you start forgetting stuff." And he goes, "Man, there's sometimes you even forget your name,
just blank.
Your company.
Well, I think sometimes,
and then he turned around and forgot pyramids.
Sometimes we just get lost in the conversation, and we just enjoy talking with each other, and just get working on these ideas and information. We're all kind of like geeking out on things, and then we just get lost in the moment, forget who we are and what we're doing.
So, I mean, I tell everybody, look, you may not have a good time, but we will.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's just it. So the last crew, part of our crew is Jack with Legacy Painting. He's our young buck.
Good guy too.
He's a great
young
kid.
Guy?
He is a hardworking kid. And when I say kid, that means anybody under 30. So when I say kid, don't be offended. Does that you still qualify, Daniel?
No, I passed that one a while ago.
You passed that one, all right. Okay. I was trying to give you one, but all right. Are you under 40?
Well, if he had to guess,
barely.
If he had to guess, that's a compliment.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll take it. I don't feel.
I'm not hitting on you, man.
I would want to 30 again for sure.
I mean, how old were you when you first started here? Because I got here in 2001, 2, and 3.
I'll put it this way:
when I came in with
it's
Keith.
been 20. This is my 20th year. By December, it'll mark 20 full years.
So
So 05.
Okay. Yeah. That's a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Now you're longer in the tooth than any of us in radio.
I do have to ask: have you ever wanted to just say for that weather section, you say something like, "Today we are going to have weather."
Yeah. Or I'm working
whether you believe it or not.
Yeah. Make it up a forecast. Work a meow in there. You never know.
So we had a few texted questions in. I think the one you were talking about that was a great text question.
Yeah. So, and I get asked this really quite often. So in a lot of the older homes, particularly like in Hampton, the Width area, even Norfolk, Ghent area, Smithfield, the old historic homes and that sort of thing, we see a lot of powder post beetle activity. If you've never seen them, they do a lot of damage. So here's a did you know, and a lot of realtors really don't even know this. The way that we treat for powder post beetles is the very same treatment that you do for fungus in your crawl space. So many companies will double charge you for the fungus treatment and the powder post beetle treatments, even though it's the same treatment. Don't let them double charge you. Is one treatment covers both.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right. What is that?
I did not know that. Did you guys know that?
No, I didn't know that. Yeah. But on those sheets that you guys do for inspection, I always forget what the wording is. Is it like wood destroying?
So there's wood destroying insects and wood destroying organisms.
Yeah, that's
so it's
what
the
it is.
Organisms.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but powder post beetles and fungus, same treatment.
So powder post beetles.
Yeah, I knew you were going to get that one.
Powder post beetles.
That was 3 syllables. That's over above my vocabulary.
So powder post beetles are the insect portion, but the fungus is on the organism section. So two different pages, but the treatment is the same.
And so what is what kind of causes that? I mean, maybe the powder post beetles are kind of like area prone, but what about the fungus side of things? What causes that? What kind of things can people be looking for, like, or how do they stop it if they're just trying to do some stuff themselves?
Yeah, it's moisture. It's all
back
about
to
the death of a house.
Back to moisture. Where can the moisture come from? You guys were talking about gutters and everything. If you don't keep your gutters cleaned out, the water can't flow down through the downspouts. Mm-hmm. So what do? It flows over top of it, and then it goes right down towards the foundation of the home. Mm-hmm. Another thing is grading.
Rots out the fascia board, then goes down the wall, rots out the wall, and then it gets in the crawl space.
It's just like Chuck said. It's the death of a house. You got water coming into the wall. It's getting to the foundation. It's in the crawl space. It's damaging the wood. It's ruining the insulation.
Yeah.
It's getting into your floor system. Your floor system starts to fail. It's like you've got to deal with the water as soon as you can.
Right. And get somebody who, when they get into your crawl space, will look for everything, not just an HVAC guy that's going under there to look at ductwork, or a termite company that's just going under there to look at termites. When I come out there, I'll tell you if you've got a toilet leak, a shower leak, if it's in the kitchen, if it's coming from gutters, if the pipes are leaking. I'll tell you what's happening in your crawl space. It might not affect me at all. You may have to call 10 different people, and I might not get one penny of business. But you'll know, and then you have the opportunity to take care of those problems before they come something big.
Which is why it's good to have a group of contractors like ourselves that trust each other, that refer business back and forth. Like, look, I don't do that. Like, my secret to success is hiring people smarter than me. Anybody that's dealt with Worleys knows that, right? Same thing with this group. I am not a specialist in bugs, so I had to bring on a specialist in bugs, right? So I think it's important to listen to people that know more than you do. And we are blessed to have Sindi on the show. Most people are really impressed that you got a woman willing to get under a house, let alone a woman that's willing to chase down bugs and varmints.
They're not scary. Actually, this past week I was with a home buyer, and she happens to be a friend of mine. And I said, you really got to go in underneath your house with me. And she said, I don't know if I can. There are spiders. I said, no, you really got to come under that. And she did. No. And she did.
I won't do it.
And she was very amazed that it was not nearly as scary as she thought. However, there were lots of spiders.
No, it is scary. Look, I won't do it.
All right. The funniest part about this reaction is we have a 6-foot-something man, big bearded, looks like Grizzly Adams over here, and 2 women going under the house. And he's like, nope, wrong call. No. Wrong call. Give me another pitch. Wrong call. Nope. He's calling off pitches.
Yeah. So, Chuck, how many guys
doing it? No, go ahead.
I was just saying, how many guys have you brought onto your crawl space team that you found out like later on they're like, I can't go in a crawl space?
So I've had a couple experiences like that. So I had one kid that I recruited. I was coaching wrestling 20 years ago, and he came to work for us. He weighed about 145 pounds. He goes under, kills it, works his butt off. He's a wrestler, so he's a hard worker. So he's killing it, man. The next summer comes back, he comes back at 192. So that's a different size man, right? So he put on some, I mean, he's from his junior year to senior year, right? So anyway, he comes back and comes back the next year. He said, Coach, yeah, these crawl spaces are getting tighter. And the problem was I stuck him in a Hilton house. Anybody in Newport News? Man, these Hilton houses, man, are like 12 inches off the ground.
That's like Portsmouth.
It was horrible. So he came back. It's like, yeah, I get paid the same amount to look at pretty girls at the pool. I get paid the same amount of money to look at women, girls at the pool at the JRCC. So, yeah, I'm going to call this a wrap this year, Coach. All right, I get it. I mean, the crawl spaces are tough. I had a guy that got out of the military. He was in his, I don't know, mid-40s or whatever, and he goes, I'm willing to learn anything. I was like, all right, let's go into crawl space. And so we're doing some encapsulation, pulling insulation out, whatever. And he comes over to me. He's been working for us for about a month, and he goes, I'm in my 40s. I need to reevaluate some decisions that I've made along the way. So he left. So I think he's a roofer now.
Oh yeah, figure.
Yeah, because I don't know, man. Sure roofing's got to be tough too. That's hot as hell up there.
Reevaluation. He should have.
No. I can deal with heat. Put me down in a crawl space with an angry raccoon. See where I'm going. Where are you going to go?
I'll probably talk to it.
Yeah, have fun. So I ain't doing it.
Yeah, she's going to bring it home as a pet.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, looks like we got Thomas in Norfolk. Hello, Thomas in Norfolk.
Hello, thank you for having me.
No, that's great. Thanks for calling in. What is your question?
I've got a jetted tub in my house, and one of the jets has gone bad. Now, the access panel is so limited that I've had two plumbers take a look at it, and they cannot reach it to service it. So basically the jetted part is unplugged, so I can't use it. Do you have any ideas or
I mean, obviously I have to see it, but it's kind of like the new cars. I remember my dad working on the F100 that he gave me. He didn't give me he made me buy the engine, and then him and the next door neighbor put it in for me, but I had to pay for the engine, right? Ain't no free lunch in his house. So it's like the new engines. You can't even put a hand in the.
You can't. You
used to be able to sit inside the F100 and work, under the hood, and work. So a lot of times these builders don't necessarily. Y'all have heard my phrase before. A builder will build a different house for his wife than he will for yours, Thomas. Yep. So he doesn't really think long term. Like if this was his house, he'd be like, man, I want that sensor where I can reach it.
Way to service
so
it's something to service.
I mean, unfortunately, you may have to either deal with no jetted tub or I've got a couple skinny guys that may be able to get behind it to take a look, but or cut out wall. You may have to cut some sheetrock.
My guess is when I hear jetted tub, I kind of picture the insert with some type of tile surround or something like that. Access panel could actually possibly get bigger. Is the access panel in the closet?
It is. It's in the next room, but
you
at
could.
A minimum, it needs to be enlarged.
Say again, it cannot be enlarged.
No, at minimum, it needs to be enlarged.
Yeah, so that would be the best option right now, apart from tearing out, like literally jerking that tub out, or removing the tile at the front to gain access to it, or somebody with a really long hand or somebody that's really skinny. They can be very difficult to reach.
Yeah. I was saying, Albin, you can go in that crawl space and cut a hole underneath it.
That is another option. That is a really good point, because it maybe with some careful measuring, you could actually add an access hole from below. But I would suggest if you do that, really seal it up well. After you're done making the repair.
I think Justin would volunteer to go in that crawl space for you and help you out. But
I'm sick.
No, we definitely need to get out and take a look at that for you. It sounds like somebody didn't think through the installation if you can't access the.
How can I reach you?
You can reach us at 757-955-9415. And you can just text us your information or give us a call. 757-955-9415. Again, it's 955-9415. And you can text us or call. That was a great question, Thomas. And what I like to remind people when they're calling in asking these questions, you are not the only person with that tub. So by you calling in and asking that question, some people are probably thinking out there, man, that thing, I tried to get mine fixed 4 years ago, and here it sits. I don't have any answers. There is a way to fix it. There is some options, but, you got to talk through that. And most people just throw their hands up and be like, yeah, I can't fix it. So we're not going to do that to you. So we're going to take a look at it. We're going to figure out some options for you. Now, you may choose to do them or not choose to do them, but I really think it's important that you know your options. At
least you know the options. Yeah,
versus, hey, can you fix this? No. Well, why are you in business?
Right.
So you have any other questions about your house? How old's your house?
My house is 17 years old.
Okay. So you're coming up. You're coming up on new roof time. You're coming up on heating and air time.
Yeah.
Hopefully you've done maintenance, all that stuff. But yeah, it's thank you for calling in. We do appreciate the call, and like I said, by us answering your questions, we're helping other people too. So thanks for calling in.
I will reach out to you. Thank you for your help.
Thank you, sir. Again, just want to remind you guys, this is the 757 House Whisperer Show. This show was created to help the people in the 757, and we cheat into 804, New Kent and Towano. But we're not going to Richmond. Well, that's right, you do. But and so does Mike. Mike could go up to Richmond.
Too, a little bit of it.
Okay, yeah. So like I said, just call, reach us at the 955-9415. You can call or text that phone number. Anything from painting to pest control to windows, doors, new additions, heating and air conditioning, electrical, plumbing, crawl space encapsulations, roofing. So just call in, and we would love to answer your questions. We will be here next week at 6 to 7 p.m. You call in and ask any questions about your house. And remember, when you're asking these questions, we are not just helping you. We are helping thousands of other people.
Chuck, some people might be tired of listening to us, but there are those out there that may want to hear just some old shows. So how do they get to the old shows?
That's a great idea. Yeah, so go to 757 House Whisperer. You can go to YouTube, Spotify, and we have all of our shows all the way back to the first of the year.
So all the links are right there at 757housewhisperer.com.
Yes, and then you could go to YouTube, Spotify, to hear all of our shows. So
perfect,
awesome.
So, but yeah, that's thank you again for you guys calling in. I do want to give the answer to Muhammad Ali. The first time he retired was in 1979. Yep. So I think Cheryl on Facebook Live there, she said 1981. I think he came back and fought. Who did he fight? The big guy, the big.
Larry Holmes?
No, before him. Foreman.
Don't look
Foreman.
at me.
Yeah, Foreman. I think
I was -4.
Oh man, gosh, you are young You are young. But all right, well, thank you guys for calling in tonight. Thank you guys for the fun time we had.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sponsored and paid for by Worley Home Services, who's entirely responsible for its content.